Welcome to the grand tour of the Mulaushi Research, Conservation, and Education Center. First stop on our tour is, of course, my house. So this is the house that was finally built for me, and my Kasanka is on the right. Kasanka is basically like a gazebo area where you can have meetings or just do your cooking. This is my house. It was a former storage shed, which they expanded and put a new roof on and took care of. Also, you can see my bicycle, which is an important part of my life, my main source of transportation. My chair, I was doing a little reading over lunch. I also did some laundry this morning. Behind the laundry, there's a shed that has 2 oil drums. That's where they heat the hot water for guests and for myself sometimes. You can build a fire and the water heats, and then you put it in a bucket, and the bucket leads to a bucket shower. Pretty snazzy. It's helpful when there are a lot of people here. This building is another home to some of the workers here. This one is for the 2 cooks that we have. They live here, and this is their Kasanka. It's a little nicer than mine. In the community relations project, there is a coordinator, and there are 3 assistants, including myself. There are also, I think, 2 watchmen and 2 cooks and a few other various people that are around. Behind, on the right, you can see one of the guest houses. There are 2 guest houses where people can stay if they're here doing research, or if they are a guest speaker for one of our workshops, or other important personnel get to stay in one of these guest houses as opposed to the dormitory, which is our next stop. This guest house is actually the house where I stayed for the first 2.5 months that I was here, before I moved into my house. Each half has 2 single beds, and then there's a shared bathroom, so it's a pretty nice setup. There's mosquito nets and everything. Behind, the big building behind, which you can't really see through the trees, is the dormitory. There are about 30 beds. There's 2 sides, male and female. This is where usually the workshop participants stay for a couple of days while they join us. So here's the guest house in the foreground, and behind there's also a nice flat area where people can camp. Again, it's a good spot if you're passing through or doing some research. There's running water, toilets, everything. So it's a nice little place to stop. Going up. On our left, we are approaching the Conservation Center itself. This is the main stop for people. It's also where we hold workshops. It also acts as kind of a visitor's center. There are interactive displays and information about Kasanka, about the animals, about the ecosystems and everything. We'll do a separate tour of the Conservation Center itself. It was built in 2007, so it's been open for 4 years now, and it's definitely a great improvement. On our right, we have the kitchen. This is where, again, when we have workshops, the food is prepared. Behind is the actual stove. All firewood, usually just gathered from around here. So that's the kitchen. The building with the tin roof. Directly in front is a garage where we keep our one sad little Land Cruiser. The green truck there belongs to the Zambian Wildlife Authority, ZAWA. Their offices are also here. There's an area warden for this area, and then there are several Game Scouts and wardens that are here. These 2 buildings, the one on the left is the Kasanka Preschool, which was also opened in 2007. So they have preschool, and now they have grades 1 and 2 as well, for the children of employees of the Kasanka Trust. There are, I believe, about 20 students. So they're usually fun. You can hear them running around and playing games all day. On the right is where the area warden has his office, and also where my boss, the community relations coordinator, has his office, excuse me. So those are those two buildings. And the next stop, the last stop, as you can hear the generator running in the background. Usually everything is run off of solar power. The panels are located behind, but for things like especially the printer and the copier that need a little more power, they run off of the generator. Usually on the other side there's a stream here, the Mulaushi stream. Usually there's some cuckoo here, but since it's the middle of the day, I'm sure they're all sleeping. So this building right here is my office, and also the office for the other community relations assistants. There's 2 offices here. So as you can tell by the pile of papers, books, and general mess, this is my desk. So this is where I do my work when I'm in the office. I do a lot of reports and all sorts of fun stuff, as well as workshops. And this is the guy I share an office with. He's not here right now because it's Sunday. So that is the grand tour. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and now know a little bit more about where it is I'm working and what it is I'm doing as a Peace Corps volunteer at Kasanka National Park.